and this is the third part with the heading of the series How Chess Was Started. And this is in a modified way because the original story, as I have told you earlier, it is really sort of very much boring. So I have modified the starting part or the opening a little so that it makes more interesting. Okay, so before starting, I want to clear some things, and the first thing is the all the things which I'm telling you. These all things are actually present in the form of a PDF, which I will provide you the link in the description, which you can read later, or you can also share that link with your relatives or with your friends. Okay, so now before starting, let's have a quick recap. So, in part 2 of this series, what we saw was that Shyam Chatur, sorry, Shyam Chatur has reached the court of the king, and he has asked his both of the questions. One was started with what is the something, and the second was who was the something. Now, let's see that one Navaratnas were able to answer Shyam Chatur's questions, or what was the scene after that. Okay, so as soon as Navaratnas heard that about both the questions, they tried to think what's in it, like what is the trick there, or what is the thing. Means like they were searching in every possible book, they were searching in every possible library which was available to them. Finally, after great hardships, yeah, it took almost their whole day to find about the first question. Like, can you imagine how tough it was? Anyways, after great hardships, one of the Navaratnas found it inside a 50 years old book, which was present in a 60-year-old library. Like, can you think? So old libraries were there, and in it a 50 years old book. In that book, there was a line which had the answer, but it took almost the whole day, and the sun was already set. And my dear friends, if you don't know that, then in the ancient times, there was a time bound that whichever things are to be done, they have to be done in the sun's from the beginning with the sunrise, and they must end by the sunset. But this question, the first question, took the whole day. The sunset was already there, and as a result, they got no time to answer the second question, and Shyam Chatur finally won it. Yeah, Garibi Nagar won over the Amiri Nagar, and now the king and the Garibi Nagar, he was also relieved that yes, we have done it. It's a day for celebration for us, and they knew that they have got their fish in the bag, and now it was time for Chamchatur to break the king's ego and to show him that what Garibi Nagar's people can do. Now, the king, do you remember his uh, introduction? He entered the court, which is just up, and he also had a flower in his hand, a beautiful flower. He also had a turban. That such a great king has to bow down his head in front of Shyam Chatur, and this ego regarding his Navaratnas, regarding his knowledge, was now completely broken down into pieces. But the twist is now. Now, when it was time for Shyam Chatur to demand whatever he wants the king to do for him, do you know what he demanded? Suppose if I put you in place of Shyam Chatur, what would you demand? Possibly some gold coins, or maybe a Mercedes, yeah? Or maybe some great building, great bungalows. But do you know what Shyam Chatur did? He, what he did was, he first took a big square, and then divided it into 8 divisions. Yeah, there was a one big square and he divided into 8 divisions, which made 64 equal square divisions, just like a chessboard. Yeah, he made a chessboard, to say in simple, and said, Your Majesty, I don't want any of your property, but you take this board and keep one rice grain in the first box, and in the second one, keep two rice grains. In the third one, keep four. In the fourth one, keep eight. And continue this pattern. When you reach the last square or the 64th square, give me the total number of grains. Like, could you imagine how fool was he, right? He asked such a silly thing. He asked just a few rice grains. The king also thought like that, but the result is much more bigger. Okay, so on hearing this, the king thought, ah, he is really a fool, yeah? He didn't ask for the kingdom or gold or silver, but simply rice. He was really happy. The king knew that Shyamchatra was a fool, but he didn't knew the core. And the king said to Shyamchatra, Okay, you will get your rice. Now you may leave for your kingdom. He left for Garibinagar, but before he could reach, his news of foolishness reached the town. Yeah, news go faster, right? His news reached the town first, the kingdom first, and everyone there was criticizing Shyamchatra. But the king of the Garibinagar, he too didn't understood Shyamchatra's idea completely, but he believed on him. He knew that there was something really big going on in his mind, so he was calm. On the other hand, in Amirinagar, the king had hardly reached half of the board, or until the 32nd square, and they were having a shortage of rice in the kingdom. Are you surprised? If you don't agree to me, try to calculate this. Yeah, take a calculator and try to calculate this. The answer will be 2 to the power 32 times. Yeah, if you want to find out the exact number of grains, you have to make it 2 to the power 32. That's the formula. Or 2 to the power n minus 1 is the formula. Okay, but let's leave maths. Let's come to the story. But when they were about to hit the 55th square, okay, somehow they managed there on the 32nd square, but when they were about to hit the 55th square, there was almost no rice in the kingdom. I'm sorry for that. And by now, even the neighboring kingdoms stopped helping this kingdom because it was unable to pay its debts. Like, can you think? Such a kingdom where there were golden forts, there were forts made of only gold. Such a kingdom was now under debt. So they started selling their precious monuments, their forts. These were already gone, and now these things were sold from the king's court. Like, it's a matter of dignity, yeah. The king's court's things are now being sold to pay the debts. What is it? What the frustrated situation is this? And that too at very low prices. But still, they reached the 60th square. They had already sold all the gold available in their kingdom, and before the 63rd square, the kingdom was so much in debt that the king was so frustrated that he called Shyamchatra and he gave all of his kingdom to Shyamchatra. Yeah, you heard it right. He gave all of his kingdom to Shyamchatra. He simply asked for few rice grains Yeah, he simply asked for few rice grains, and here the king had to give all of his kingdom to Shyam Chatur, and hence the 64 square board was created. It was followed by the pieces, and then the rules were also made, and hence chess was started. I hope you like this. You liked this series. The PDF of this complete thing is in the description below. You can go and check it from there. Write in the comments if your feedbacks on this, and I hope you like it. Thanks for watching.